Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 15, Purushottama Yogam, Shloka number 11. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Yatanto Yoginaschainam Pasyantyatmanyavasthitam Yatantopyakrutatmanaha Nainam Pashyanta Chetasaha. Lord Shri Krishna, from Shloka number 7 to Shloka number 10, he explained about the one reality which is expressing in and through everything. In totality as the Ishvara and the Jagat, and in individuality the Jiva. One is a macro reflection and another is micro reflection. Because the one reality expressing through this macro and micro, innumerable varieties, but because of that the reality is not getting affected in any way, and reality has not having any kind of modification or the problem. So who seeing the differences in reality is called disease. That disease is called ignorance. So we have to do the ignorance dectomy. So after explaining like this, Bhagavan, how one reality, Atma Chaitanyam, consciousness expressing, but not seeing this truth, understanding this truth, the indiscriminative, ignorant people, vimudhaha nanupashyanti, they cannot see this. That means they cannot understand this. They cannot appreciate this truth, reality, even though scriptures says and the Lord himself says and the teacher says. But other side, there are people who is having this discrimination and having the determination, they will discover it. They will discover. They were called Gnana Chakshusha. How they are able to discover this? Because they heard from the Guru the explanation of the Shastras and they are able to understand. After saying this, in the 11th shloka, which we have discussed in the last class, Bhagavan giving a title to this wise people, who is having the discrimination, who doesn't have the disease of this seeing the differences, and is called yatayaha samahitatma. Yatantaha yoginaha, and they were very well disciplined people, and with effort they grasped this truth. But other side there are this amudhaha, otherwise people, indiscriminative people, even though they are putting efforts forward, but they were not able to see the truth. It is like they are beating around the bush but not able to find out what for they are beating around the bush. And for them Bhagavan given another name also, akrutatmanah. One wise people are called one side prakrutatmanah. Here krutatmanah or prakrutatmanah means very well trained and very well understood the teachings of the scriptures. But other side akrutatmanah, they were not cleaned their heart. Their hearts were still lingering with the impurities. After saying this, now today, in the end of the last class, I read the Bhashya description of the Shankara. Now, which is told in the previous shlokas as the dhamam or the padam, that one reality which we are now also discussing, how it expresses. Shall I give some samples to you? Because as Arjuna asked in the previous chapters, O Lord, you please tell me specifically, show your presence is there in this, in this, in this. Then I can focus my attention and I will try to perceive your presence as the inner essence. Therefore, Bhagavan explained a lot of things there, but still he says in the end, whatever I told to you, it is only a just little sample of it. I cannot tell my vibhutis, there is no antaha. But now again, Arjuna didn't ask, Bhagavan himself, let us make this point clear. Now shloka number 12. Yadadityagatam tejaha jagadbhasayate yaschandramasi yaschagno tattejo vidhi mamakam. First Bhagavan started explaining from the gross level in which we can feel and recognize the presence of the same one reality expressing. The problem for seeing the differences is the reality is one, but through which it is expressing, the gadgets are different, the upadhis are different. Just as like the electricity is one, but when it is expressing through the different gadget, the expression comes through that gadget is differs according to the capacity of the bulb, or it may express as the bulb or wind or light or wind or sound. But one electricity. In the same way, here, so Bhagavan starts to show us, see here in this grass which you can see through your eyes, what he says one by one. This is called Atma Vibhutayah from the Adi Bhautika standpoint. Adi Bhautika standpoint. Whatever you see in the sun, the brightness, the light which is taken shelter, taking the sun, Lord Sun as the Upadhi medium and expressing, know that I am that. Yad adityagatam tejaha, and because of which that light, tejas, the whole world is illumined. Akhilam jagat bhasayate vidhi mamakam. That is my expression. Not only that, through the moon also, yah chandramasi, not only the moon, yah agnav api prakashayate, that tejaha vidhi, mamakam vidhi. Know for certain that it is my glory, is my power. I am only expressing through those illuminaries. These illuminaries, sun, moon, stars, all these things are already told. Just a few shlokas before. Na tad bhasayate suryaha na sashanko na pavakaha. While studying that shloka, we referred to the Kathopanishad also, or Mundakopanishad. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandratarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, like that. So, but Bhagavan again telling this. So, two things he indicated here. One is three things. These three things, last time when we are discussing, we saw them in a different way also. One is representing the Adi Bhautika, and one is that sun, and the moon is the presiding deity of the mind, sun is the presiding deity of the eye, and the mind, moon is presiding deity of the mind, then Agni is the presiding deity of the karmendriyas. So one is about the Jnanendriyas, one is about the Karmendriyas, and another is about the Antakaranam. So all these instruments are different, but the power behind which is expressing is one and the same. Whether it is a Shabda or Sparsha, Rupa or Rasagandha. So that is only Bhagavan here again brought out. And while telling about this, there is a possibility that student may ask the doubt, Purvapakshi, if the reality is Nanu Stavareshu Jangameshu cha tat samanam chaitanyatmakam jyotihi. The one reality expressing through everything, either movable and immovable things and everything, if that is the case, What is the speciality to say only mentioning about this tatra katham idam visesham yad aditya gadam ityadi? Why specifically has to tell showing the sun and moon and the Agni? Bhagavan Shankara writes, teacher says, na esha doshaha. There is no any mistake in that, because satvadhikatvad adhikopapattehe. This is the Sangraha Vakyam, means because there is more Sattva-guna aspect. Light represents the Jnanam or brightness, the Sattva-guna. Therefore, because of that, Satyam Atyanta Prakasham Atyanta Bhaswaram. Ataha Tatra Eva Avistaram Jyoti Idi Tad Visishyate. So, that is the channel, that is the point in which you can see more. You cannot see in anywhere as the brightness appears in the sun. You cannot see the brightness, means the full-fledged intellect functioning only in the human body, human mind, not in any other animal. They were having it, but not full-fledged. That's why the human being, human brain is the fully developed. The only next development is it has to recognize its divinity. Not any other animal or any creature cannot discover and find out their nature. So here there is no any mistake in that by saying like that. For that, Shankaracharya, Bhagavan giving an example, how generally our face is not reflecting everywhere. In the wall, it won't reflect. Loke tulye api mukhasamsthane na kashta. In the wood, kudyadau, in the wall, the stones, bricks, mukham na avirbhavate. Our reflection we cannot see there. But adarshadau, the shining, polished, like the mirror and the polished stone or any kind of such metal, then swachche swachchatarecha taratamyena. Now you see the difference. See the difference. The wall cannot reflect our face, but mirror can reflect. In the same way, for that reason, the sun is, moon and the fire are given as examples. There is no any wrong in it. Then after that, after just introduced in the gross level, that means what? All these shlokas, the coming 4 shlokas, 12 to 12, 13, 14, 15, bringing our attention towards the samashti, the totality. We talked about this in the last class also. When we are thinking only in the individual level, our minds are becoming narrow. So then we cannot understand the reality, one functioning through all the things. Here now second shloka, Bhagavan coming, okay, moon is in the antariksham, sun is in the antariksham, and fire is not seen all the time, everywhere. Now I will come still to the grosser level. This is also a Adi Bhautika only, or the first shloka we can take it as a Adi Daivika. But the Daivika locus is outside gross only, But when that sun is presiding deity of our eyes, then it becomes adhyatmikam. That point will come later. Now Bhagavan is telling about the, again, very gross example like Gama Vishya Bhutani Dharayamyahamojasa Pushnyami Chaushadhi Sarvaha Somo Bhutva Rasatmakah. I only entered into this earth also, Gama, Gam, Prudhivim, Avishya means Pravishya, and Dharayami Bhutani. Aham Ojasa, Tejas, Ojas, Prakasham. All this represents the same. Or Ojas means Balena. Because of my strength, there it is told as the brightness. Here, because of my strength, in the earth, I am holding and giving support to all the living, non-living beings. Particularly if you take living beings, even the earth has got the gravitation force. Because of that, we are able to walk without falling and balancing. Yes. But the entire earth is moving very fast. On the earth, there are very huge mountains and big oceans are there. All these things are there, but we never see things are falling or rolling or like that, except sometimes any tsunami or earthquake or volcanoes comes. But generally, we never find that movement, but all the things are holded properly. Or this earth itself is moving in the sky, but it is not falling just like that. It moves in its own orbit. It is not going and hitting in any other planet. There are so many planets moving. How this is holded in the space and moving without falling, and that power, that strength, I am only Arjuna. Vidhi Mamakam, that also, I am only holding. When we talk about the earth, we consider as the mother earth, earth as the mother. According to Puranas mythology, Lord Vishnu has got two wives. One is Mahalakshmi and is Bhudevi. And this Bhudevi, we always pray respecting her in so many ways. As soon as we get up in the morning, generally we look at the palm and say one traditional shloka, Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karamadhye Saraswati, Karamule to Govinda. Here, the Govinda is the Brahman, Moolam, the source. From that, all the knowledge, Saraswati, and all the prosperity is Lakshmi. This prosperity and knowledge, both are coming supported by because of Govinda. Prabhate Karadarshanam. Not only that, before putting our feet on the floor, Mother Earth, we say another shloka also, Samudravasane Devi Parvatasthana Mandale. All these oceans are like milk, and where your breast mountains are your breast, and the milk is the oceans are all milk. That means what? As the mother's milk is very important to the child to grow, this entire creation on the earth is living because of the mother earth. Everything we are getting from the mother earth only. Water going up and coming as the rain, but water is first in the earth and in the ocean. Therefore, all our required things are everything, the entire wealth. That's why another name to Mother Earth is called Vasundhara. Vasu means wealth. Who having retaining in her so much wealth, Vasundhara. Like this, different shlokas we worship the mother, but the power in the Mother Earth is because of that one reality, Brahma Tattva alone expressing there. Bhagavan here saying, Vidhimam, Vidhimam, Vidhimam. Know that I am that power. Not only that, about the Prithvi, when we sit for doing the puja, the time asana puja, there is one mantra, Prithvitvaya dhruta lokaha devi tvam vishnuna dhruta tvam cha dharaya mam devi pavitram chasanam kuru. O Mother Prithvi, tvaya dhruta lokaha, you are holding on, supporting this entire lokas, Prithvi. Tvaya lokaha dhrutaha, O Prithvi. And you are protected by, you are holded by, supported by Devi Tvam Vishnuna Dhruta. You are holded by the Vishnu. Therefore, you please hold me also. Tvam cha dharayamam Devi, and make this place pure and a supportive thing for me when I sit for my puja. What a beautiful prayers. Like this, so many are there. Then, what else I do? Through the moon, generally we consider moon doesn't have the light. He borrows the light from the sun and that is reflecting. Leave that point as a scientific thing and that, but still the moon has got so much importance in our astrology, astronomy, and as well as the day-to-day life. How Bhagavan telling here, it is one proof. Being as a Soma Rasa, Soma means sun, Somaha Bhutva and Rasatmakaha Bhutva, I make all these food items, plants, trees, fruits, roots, everything. Aushadhihi, some are, Aushadhi means not necessarily as a medicine, food also is Aushadham. So, Vanaspati are medicinal plants and for day-to-day basis, regular eatable vegetable plants and fruits like that. I give that strength and the power in them in the form of the Somarasa. That's why, because of the moon only, in all the plants, the pushti, nourishment is coming where from that nourishment in the form of the liquid and the sap. In all the fresh vegetables or fruits, all everywhere, even any tree you cut, there is a liquid, sap is there. That sap is called somarasam. That is only Bhagavan mentioning here. By being like that, nutritious, the juice liquid, I support and give the nourishment, pushti dadami. That's why one of the names even to the sun in Surya Namaskara mantra, Om Pushne Namaha. Because indirectly, again, sun also is very important for making these plants to grow, all that. But plants grow, no? And everything. Where from the nutrition coming in them? That's why, therefore, both the sun and the moon are supporting this entire planet for all the living beings to get their life energy. So, after saying this, Bhagavan, now in the next shloka, okay, I told you as the Adi Daivika and Adi Bhautika from grosser and still grosser. Now I will come subtler and very closely to you in your body. We can take it as a adhyatmika, because individual one persons, what is happening in us also. It is actually gross only, but we don't know. We didn't remember. After eating the food, what is happening in our body, we don't know. Therefore, after making the entire food as the nutritious food through the, that's why all the trees, plants, these things, food, grains, everything should be exposed to the sun. Then afterwards they should expose to the moon also, and they will retain that nourishment, nutritious values long time. Long time. Once again, the stored seeds, you plant it in a proper way with proper water and everything, again they will germinate and give. Therefore, that power in them, I am only. Now here in 14th shloka, coming closer to our inside the body. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapanasamaयुक्तः Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. Very famous, popular shloka. Because of this shloka only, this entire 15th chapter taken for chanting. In most of the spiritual organizations and the ashramas, before eating the food, they made it a habit to chant the entire 15th chapter. In that, mainly because selecting it for chanting before eating, the reason is this shloka. O Arjuna, I am alone, being as the digestive fire in every living being, Praninam Vaishvanaraha Bhutva, Praninam Deham Ashritaha Vaishvanaro Bhutva Aham. In every body, I reside in their stomach in the form of the Vaishvanara Agni. It is a technical term, but for us to understand, digestive fire. Because to cook the food, fire is required. See the wonder. Even though there is inside lot of liquids and water and everything is there, but still in that the fire exists. Timely, because of the Jataragni digestive fire, we will feel hunger. Because of the digestive fire only, we will able to digest the food and assimilate the food. How all these things are happening? Science may medical, the sciences keep on say and found something and give the names and done research. But ultimately, how it started, who is controlling and running them, just they are happening spontaneously without our knowledge. Therefore, Vaishwanaraha. So, Agni, this Vaishwanara word referred in the Kathopanishad. When this small boy Nachiketa came and sat in the veranda outside bench of the Yamadharmaraja's house, and Yamadharmaraja was not there, and after 3 days when he came, and inside here Yamadharmaraja's wife is worrying that here Atidhi came and sat, that too Brahmachari Brahmana, and Atidhi Vaishwanara Agni. It's like Agni, because he is sitting there without eating anything. That means in his stomach, the Vaishwanara Agni is now waiting for food. If we are not giving the bhiksha, that's why if any person who is hungry, if you are not feeding them and if you are not feeling the hunger of the others, we are doing a sin. That's why in our tradition, feeding the hungry people or any unknown guest also on the time, Atidhi Devo Bhava, because Atidhi Vaishwanar Agni like, and if you are not taken care and properly respected, it will curse you. Curse you. Like that also our scripture says. Anyhow, it is a reference from the Kathopanishad, two places that word Vaishwanara, Agni and all that comes there. That only Bhagavan borrowed and using here. Aham Vaishwanara Agni Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritam. Then what I am doing by being in the stomach of everybody? Now tell me, let us think, where we have to search for the God. Why you have to fight and worry and run for the God to somewhere? Every function is happening because of the God. That function itself, the phenomena itself, the fact itself is the form of the God only. Instead of that, we want to see some other form somewhere, sometime. How foolish it is. So our Shastras given all the opportunities. Okay, if you want to go worship from there, you go there. So Sthala Mahatyams and Sthala Puranas are there, Punya Kshetras are there, but all together ultimately bring our attention to the focus, our attention to the everywhere, whatever you are seeing is God only. Whatever experiencing is nothing but the Brahman, the expression of Brahman only. Here not a Krishna, Rama or like that. It is one truth, one reality, one consciousness. Because of that. That's why I started the topic today beginning. Instead of understanding this, you are keep on developing and increasing your differences. You are becoming expert in seeing the differences. Then how you can be peaceful and happy? But once if you start seeing one reality, outside differences will be there. Please understand, I am telling, seeing the differences in the reality. If anybody talks about the differences about the current, in my house, in that bulb, my current is different and your current is different. How foolish it is, we will laugh at it. But the same thing we are doing in a day-to-day life, for that Shastra or Ishvara or wise people will laugh at us. That's why he called Vimudaha, Vimudaha, not seeing, Nanu Pashyanti. Fool, Mudha means fool. So let us stop seeing the differences. For that sake only, while reading in the last class the Bhashya of the Shankaracharya, what I told, why this further explanation Bhagavan giving, because Sarvatmatvam, to prove that there is only one reality. All differences are just an appearance only. Sarvatmatvam sarva vyavaharaspadattvam cha vivakshuhu. Therefore, to say that there is a sarvatra samadarshanam has to come in us. For that, this description, these shlokas. So, very important shloka. Then, what I am doing exactly by being in the stomach of everybody, prana apana samayuktam. Inside there are pranas, mainly prana apana. These pranas only actually feeling hungry, okay, pranamaya kosha only. That's why while eating the mantra of the Om Pranaya Swaha, Om Apanaya Swaha, Om Vyanaya Swaha, that avaposanam. Prana Pana Samayukta. Then by being balanced these both the pranas inside, I only cook the food in 4 ways. Pachami annam chaturvidham. Very clearly told. That's why this sloka I should read before eating. I am only cooking the food in 4 types or 4 variety of foods. These words we have to see in 2 different ways. Generally, what are the 4 types of foods? In Sanskrit to say, bhojyam, bhaksham, choshyam, lehyam. That means solid, semi-solid, liquid and mixture. Okay, solid and semi-solid, then or which can be swallowed, which can be liquid, which can be drunken to drink, and which to masticate and make soft. So all these kind of foods we are eating now, that all I will digest, or and in another angle, all kinds of 4 aspects of the food which we generally talk now in modern language, the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats and minerals and vitamins, and I will separate them, I will distribute them, I will digest all of them. And unwanted thing after that also I will throw out it as a excretion. Therefore, that means what? Or if you take the process of the digestion, first of all, mastication, see, the saliva juices has to, enzyme should secrete from mouth. So, mastication and swallowing, digestion, assimilation and elimination, 4 works. So, everything in the form of the prana, agni. Prana is considered most always agni, prana agni. Therefore, that agni is called Vaishwanara Agni. In this way, swallowing, masticating, digesting, all these kinds of different things I am doing. Therefore, before eating the food, Shankara writes in the Bhashya here, 1 or 2 points extra. Whoever sees this bhojyam, and he brought out, bhokta is the Vaishwanara, prana, agni, and the bhojyam is the annam, is nothing but the somam. So, agni, soma, this is the thing combination. Whoever thinks in this way, when agni is inside and he is asking for the food and soma is offered. This is one yajna is going on. Eating is an yajna. That's why before eating, let me complete what Shankara says, who thinks in this way and eat the food, okay, etat ubhayam agni shomau sarvam iti pashyatah annadosha lepaha na bhavati. That person with this prayer and feeling, if he eats the food, if there are any defects and the impurities in the food, that won't affect the person. Further, many shlokas we have. One is the famous shloka from the Bhagavad Gita itself. Brahmarpanam brahma havihi brahmagno brahmanahutam brahmaivate gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. At least the 15th chapter fully, if they don't chant, even if they chant that also, they will conclude with this shloka. Okay, or some are so brahmarpana, or this shloka aham vaishvanaro bhutva praninam deham ashritah pranapana samayuktah pachamyannam chaturvidam. Still, if you want to say one or two shlokas, annapurne sadapurne shankara pranavallabhe gnana vairagya siddhyardham bhiksham dehi cha parvate. See, like this, many Vedic prayers are there. Many Vedic prayers are there. And they say, Annam Brahma Raso Vai Vishnuhu Bhokta Maheshwaraha Iti Chintichya Vada. In this way, who thoughts and who says and eats the food, that food becomes a very pure Amrutam like. All impurities will go away. Annam Brahma Raso Vai Vishnuhu and Bhokta is Maheshwaraha. Therefore, Pranapana Samayukta, very important shloka. The meaning is actually whatever, whenever we do any of our daily routine actions also, all of them considered as the yajna, an offering. Taking bath is yajna, yes, and putting the vastrams are yajna, putting the food in, eating the food is yajna. Everything is offering. See what a nice bhavana feeling. When such a kind of samashti, remembering that power and doing your actions and living, naturally you never develop, your ego never becomes stronger. But still with proper understanding, there are people, as Krishna told here, they yatantaya api akrutatmanaha. We should not be like that. We must know properly, clearly, with the feeling from the heart. That's why the whole day, all the actions are considered as the spiritual practices. We may call it as the religious practices, but with proper understanding, side by side, if you listen to Gita and the Upanishads and started doing, then every action becomes a very joyful offering, and then and there you remember the reality, God. We are offering ourselves total. Then where is the question of ego, ahankara, separate individual, comparison, fighting, and likes and dislikes, so much preferences, complaints, everything will disappear. Then after saying this, Bhagavan now coming to the very, very important shloka. Shloka number 15. Now, I have told you from the Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika and all that, but I am still coming very closer to your inside the heart, not even stomach, inside the heart, Hridi. Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishtaha matta smrutir gnanam apohanancha Vedaischa sarvaihi ahameva vedyah Vedanta krudveda videva chaham. If the Upanishads are the essence of all the Vedas, and the essence of the Upanishads is the Bhagavad Gita, and the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is 15th chapter, and the essence of the 15th chapter is 15th shloka. 15th shloka. Because here Mahavakya Upadesham given. And what is that? Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishtaha. Sarvasya, in every living being. Because first we have to recognize in the living beings. Then we will understand in the form of Sat in the non-living beings. Everywhere Sat Chit only is there. But Sat and Chit both are expressing in some upadhis, and Sat alone expressing in some upadhis. Okay. Therefore, in everybody's heart, see, heart, hridi, sannivishtaha, very closely, because heart is, how far is their heart? Heart means what? Actually, my mind, my intellect. What is the distance between me and my intellect? If I show the physical heart, you can say that my brain, mind is here and heart is here. But generally, according to scriptures, the mind is residing in the center of the heart only, here, in the heart only. There are many references to that. Anyhow, that is not the point now for us. Just when you think that I am, wherever that feeling coming, I am, that is the heart. That's why all of us, whenever in any language, in any person in the world, whenever he says that I am telling, I do, I want, where the finger goes? Finger never goes here. I want, I want, I want, because that spontaneous, unknowing feeling is there. Listen, I am telling. You don't, how I am suffering. Why you hold the hand here? Because you know something in the heart. Anyhow, we need not to dissect and find out where is the mind, where is the heart, and where is the brain and all that. But we know ourselves. Therefore, sannivishtaha, aham here, atmarupena, hridi. That's why Shankara writes buddhau, sannivishtaha. I am residing in that. Avishtaha, san avishtaha, vishtaha, avishtaha, sannivishtaha. Very firmly I abided. Therefore, ataha, mattaha, because of me, in sarva praninam, in the every living being, what are the things happening? Smruti, gnanam, apohanam cha. I am only expressing in the form of memory, gnanam. Smritihi gnanam tad apohanam cha. That means general meaning is in the form of memory, in the form of thinking and the thoughts, and in the form of forgetting also, or in the form of waking, dream and deep sleep state or samadhi. Cha. Smrutir gnanam apohanam Uchakara Samadhi. So whatever the different states everybody is undergoing, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushuptis, all that, there. I am only all that expressing in by being in the everybody's heart means what he said in the seventh sloka, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutas Sanatanaha. My reflection, my amsha alone. So naturally, all that original bimbam, consciousness, whatever its power, everything is reflected here. Now here Upadhi has got some facilities expressing, but without the Chaitanyam, consciousness, where this mind will function, where how the intellect will function, if this is not functioning, where the memory, where is the thinking, where is the knowledge, intelligence and IQ and EQ, all that? No. Therefore, that means from very gross to slowly, Bhagavan brought our attention to inside our heart for individual adhyatma. So therefore, apohanam cha. That means all the antakarana's functions are all because of me only. Therefore, sarvaihi vedaihi cha ahameva vedyah. This is the Mahavakya Upadesha. The teaching, the purpose of all the Vedas, this, that, here Vedaha means knowing this or that or whatever. Vedaihi sarvaihi. Now before going to this, Shankara writes one point about this mattaha smriti gnanam apohanam. For that I will like to read that. Esham punyakarminam punyakarmanurodhena gnana smriti bhavati. If you have done a lot of punya karmas and dharmic karmas, because of that punya karma, now in this life you will remember and come to the satsang and gnana smriti bhavati. That's why if one person has to come to the Vedanta Shravanam, Shastra Shravanam and satsangam, it is not a joke or it is not happening just casually like that. Many times we think in that way. That's why casually we will skip also, we will stop also, we will discontinue also. But when you recognize that Ishvara Krupadeva Advaistavasana Pumsam Bhavati, not otherwise. That Ishvara Krupa word is used, but actually it is my own karma, punya karma phalam, gnana smriti bhavati. In the same way, tada papakarmanam papakarmanurodhena smriti gnanayoho apohanancha apayanam apagamanam cha. Shankara takes in a different way nicely. Because of my papakarmas, the papakarmas stops and comes as the obstacles in my life now, and they won't allow us to attend the satsang, to study the scriptures, to accept this and to understand also. So many things are there. Not just listening, it won't be enough. Therefore, they will destroy and anurodhena smriti gnanayoho. My smriti and gnanam, my remembrance and my remembrance that I am the gnana, and to get that gnanam of my essential nature, and they all, what they will do? Apohanam. That means they just simply thrashes away, keeps, pushes away aside. What? Papam. That is the way Shankara explains about that. To summarize, let us take it. If a person coming to the spiritual path after practicing a lot of religious things and all that, it is a rare gift and mahat bhagyam, and that too getting a proper Atma Bodha Guru, the Guru who teaches the Tattvam Atma Bodha teaching, not any other Guru. Gnana Guru, Shrotriya Brahmanishta, and that is his only Punya Karma Phalam. That's why now he is memory functioning, he listens, he commitment is there, Shraddha Bhakti will be there, he is ready to change, and he will get the ability to change, and definitely he will be liberated in this life itself. Otherwise, remember that there are so much papa. Not to make us frightened by saying like that, but suppose if anybody listens these words, they may think that, oh, let us not waste my time. Even though prarabdha papa karma is there, but I will decide. That's why readiness to change, readiness to know the truth. Okay. So now let us conclude here. Still few more important things we have to discuss about this shloka. That too particularly about this second line, how it is important, how it is like a Mahavakya, where it is quoted, where else, why this shloka is so important. This is the ultimate culmination that we all discuss in the next class. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ हरि ओम तत्सत्।